Hey guys, what's up? Sorry it's been so long since I posted a video. Like I said in a previous video, I've been putting off some family stuff, working on the car, ordering everything, figuring out what I'm going to do to it, and then editing, especially since I'm new at filming and editing. That just took so much of my time and took me away from family stuff that was obviously more important. So I've been spending more time doing that and haven't really been working on the car, but I want to start getting into, you know, posting a few videos, maybe once a week or maybe twice a week or something like that, getting some progress done on the car and getting some videos up for you guys, especially the guys that have been, you know, subscribed for a while and want to see this LFX run in this car and see the car, you know, get going. So even though I haven't been filming any videos, I've been thinking a lot about the car, where we're going with it, and the stuff that I need. So I've ordered a lot of things. I've got just about everything I need to get this car going. I've also ordered a Rogue M600 tubing bender. It was a weld-it-yourself kit, so I've welded that all together. I've got to paint it now, and then we can start bending all the tubing that we need for the front bash bar, radiator support, and then we're going to do splitter support, and probably going to do a rear bash bar. Not sure exactly. We'll see once we cut. We're going to actually try and cut the bumper, the rear bumper in this episode, and then we'll see kind of where the factory crash bar is and if we need to take that out, you know, if it's in the way or whatever. So we're going to try and go ahead and do that. The other thing is, you know, I spent so long working on the wiring to save the traction control and, or not the traction control, the ABS and the electronic power steering, and then the factory gauge cluster. But even with the factory gauge cluster, you know, I would have still had to get oil pressure gauge, oil temperature gauge, and all those things, and then get a cluster to hold those things in. And then on top of that, I was going to have, you know, an issue with the ABS. I was looking for a standard pump out of a non-DSC car, so one without the dynamic stability control, because if you have a car that has that, which this one did, you know, that's all built into kind of the same system, and so deleting the DSC out of it would have really rendered the ABS useless, because it would have thrown codes and issues in the ECU, and then it would have turned that off, so I wouldn't have had ABS anyway with this pump. So I've decided, after looking for a while, because then I would have had to have the harness for that particular ABS pump because it was a different connector, and then I would have had to put that in, and then having the extra Mazda ECU and all those things. So anyway, to make a short story long, what I've decided to do is just go ahead and get the Race Pack IQ3 digital dash. It's the street version, so it's got turn signals and then some sensors. It actually comes with sensors for oil pressure, and it comes with a sensor for the fuel and for the coolant temperature and possibly even the oil temperature, and then the rest of it plugs into the Camaro's OBD2 port, and gets all the rest of the readings from the ECU. I can also put in a GPS module so that we get GPS speed instead of speed from the transmission, so it doesn't, you know, really matter what tires or anything we run, we'll have accurate speed. So I may do that as well. But anyway, that dash is coming in a few days, so we'll get into wiring the car for that dash, and that's going to allow me to pull out just about everything else. We'll do the fuses, the relays, and I'll show you all that wiring. So we will do that, and then make a panel to hold the new IQ3 dash. But right now, what we're going to try and do, one of the things that I wanted to do is go ahead and mount the lip so that we can then design the splitter, so we know when we make the bash bar in the front where we want to have supports for the splitter and everything, and then where we can have the radiator sitting so that we can then make proper ducting, you know, from air coming in near the lip and the front bumper. But I just unboxed the lip. I've had this lip for about 6 months now, and I just unboxed it and realized they sent me the wrong one. So this is the lip that they sent me. It's like the Type RA, I believe it says on their website. You know, and on top of that, they actually charged me twice the freight that they had quoted me. So I'm a little upset about that transaction. Hopefully they'll make it right and we can swap out this lip with the one that we were supposed to get. But we can't install that now, so we'll have to figure that out. But then I've also got these side skirts. They're, I don't remember, I think it's KWB or something like that for these side skirts. They're Mazda Speed style, and if you know anything about, you know, RX-8s or Mazda Speed, they don't sell the actual Mazda Speed body pieces anymore, so they're really hard to get. But I wanted something with a flat bottom so that we could also do, you know, kind of run a flat floor and everything all the way across the whole vehicle, and actually have like the side planes underneath the flat side skirt. So this design worked really well, but I had trouble finding like a reputable kind of design for the Mazda Speeds, you know, ones that would fit properly. And these had good reviews, and they're polyurethane, but unfortunately they're really heavy. So once we get them mounted, we may just do like a temporary mount, and then we'll make like a plug and make them out of fiberglass or something ourselves. I'm not sure, but we'll get them on and we'll see how they are. So I want to get these stock side blades off, and then once the side blades are off, then we can go ahead and either well, I mean, we're going to temporarily mount them right now, and fit them up, and then, like I said, go ahead and cut the rear bumper. And I'll show you, we're just going to cut the bottom off, so that there's more room for a diffuser on there. But I also want to get y'all's opinion on something. So on these fenders, I'm gonna open them up one of two ways, or if somebody else has a better idea, you know, just let me know in the comments. But I'm either thinking about cutting across this vent line here, and then pulling that in so there's, you know, actual decent airflow through here, or cutting this completely. Kind of, this would probably be at an angle, but all of this would be cut out, and then have that bent in and around, you know, like you see on a lot of race cars, so that we have better airflow out of the front wheel well. If you look at time attack cars, a lot of them have it like that, and then we'll modify the side skirt along the bottom here so that that airflow comes around and hits that flat floor. But you know, these fenders aren't super expensive. You know, if we cut it up in a way and it doesn't look real good, or it doesn't function properly or something like that, you know, I can just replace it anyway. But we got to do all this before we do paint, and we got to do the cage before we do paint as well. I've got a 3D model of the RX-8, so I may try and do, you know, one way on each side of the 3D printed model, and then see what you guys think. Or like I said, if you've got any opinions, or if you've seen it done a certain way that you really like, you know, let me know, and then, you know, we may do it that way. So let's go ahead. I'm going to time lapse it and try and make this video really quick. I've already talked for, you know, way too long, but I just wanted to catch you guys up on what's going on. I've already got coilovers. We've got the wing. Like I said, we've got the whole IQ3 dash coming with the wiring there, and then the tubing bender is almost done, so we can start bending the tubing for the radiator mount, get the front bumper mounted, do the radiator ducting. I've also got all the stainless steel tubing and the muffler and everything for us to go ahead and make the exhaust as well. So let's go ahead and get this stock side skirt off, mount up this aftermarket side skirt, or at least try to get it mounted, and then cut the rear bumper so that we can then work on the diffuser. Well, there it is. It's just a quick mock-up. As you can probably tell, I had a little bit of trouble getting this old one off, it looks like because of the accident that this car was in, it had previously had some damage to the rocker areas, and those were taken off, and then they used the wrong hardware to get in, and they were all seized up in there and everything, so had to drill one of the bolts out. And then the rocker underneath is actually a little bit dented in. But anyway, so this is just a quick mock-up. It looks decent. I mean, definitely tell me what you guys think. I mean, I think that's about the position that they go in. You know, but if you guys see something that I'm not seeing, you know, definitely let me know. Now, the one thing I will say is right here in the front, there's a little bit, I don't know if you can see that in the, get a light here. But there's a little bit of a gap right there between the front, but that slack can probably be, you know, removed somewhere once it's all you know, once it's all mounted up. Otherwise, like I said, I mean, this may just be like a temporary thing. If we end up cutting out this whole front lower area, then that you know, this piece of the side skirt will all get cut off anyway, because if this is all cleared out, we'll just have the flat floor come up here, and maybe this bottom piece of the side skirt, and then the rest of this will just be formed around so that the air can come around the outside of the car, so you don't have this, you know, high pressure area and turbulent air behind the wheel and tire. So you know, if we end up cutting this up and shaping that, then this section isn't even going to matter, and then we may remold the rest of it with fiberglass so that we can pull the weight down a little bit. And if we make a mold, you know, for any reason, if I bust it up, I can make another one. So anyway, there's that. So let's go ahead and jump on to cutting the rear bumper. Okay, so the idea for cutting the rear bumper, like I said earlier, is so that we can you know, so that we can run a diffuser. So what I want to do is just cut out, basically, if you can see this body line here, it comes along here, and then normally you'd have like a fascia that goes around the exhaust, the dual exhaust. So we're just going to cut across here, cut this entire black section out of the middle, and so all this will be one flat area. And it looks like the factory crash bar is right here. So like I said earlier, if that is in the way, which now that I look at it closer, you know, it's definitely in the way. So we'll end up cutting that up and then making a rear bash bar that sits above where the diffuser is going to go. So once we have all that cut up, the area behind the rear wheels may just be open, and then we'll have a middle diffuser, kind of like you see on the new 911 RSR and the Ford GT race car. You know, so something that's kind of just right down the middle, and then we'll figure out where we're going to run our single exhaust exit. So anyway, I'm going to set up the camera, and then we'll go ahead and cut this. The first thing I'm going to do is tape off along that body line, and then I'm going to attempt to cut along it with a utility knife, and if a utility knife doesn't work, then we'll use a Dremel. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be a pain with a utility knife, but honestly, with a sharp blade, if you put a brand new blade on there, it's really easy. I know online a lot of people, for cutting bumpers and stuff for front mount intercoolers, they were saying you know, use like a Dremel tool or something like that, which I thought about doing, but you know, sometimes that can be a pain to clean up the mess. But anyway, there's the side profile. A little bit difficult to see, obviously, because of the lighting and the fact that there's no, hold on, let me get it focused here. There we go. Okay, so that's basically the level you see compared to where the side skirts are going to be. So see if I can get a view of it from behind here. It's hard to tell, like I said. I mean, the car, you know, is up in the air on jack stands and doesn't have the wheels and stuff on it, but you know, once it's sitting flush on the ground, that should be one even cut right across it. So I'm pretty happy with it, but you know, obviously there's a lot more work to go into the rear bumper before it's done, but that's the first step done. All right, guys, well, I apologize that we didn't get a ton done. Like I said, I wanted to get the front lip done as well, but they sent the wrong one. So if I have an update before this video is done, I'll throw it up here and you would have already seen it. But if not, I'll let you know what goes on with that. You know, if they don't swap it out, then I'll either have to buy a new front lip, or maybe we do a Series 2 front end conversion. Actually, that's something that we're going to do in the future, because this car, you know, is definitely no longer a budget car, especially after the IQ3, the coilovers, and it's gotten a little out of control, but it'll all be worth it in the end. So anyway, the next time, you know, that we do work on the body is probably going to be, you know, modifying these fenders. Like I said, let me know what you guys think we should do. I'm going to work with a little 3D printed car and see if I can get a couple of ideas and either post a picture on Instagram or throw up a quick little video to show both sides and see what you think. I wanted to make like a little wind tunnel and put the 3D model in there, but I don't have time for that right now. But we'll take off the front grille and we'll take out the fog lights and all that stuff and get the front bumper ready for making the radiator duct and all that stuff. Like I said, the tubing bender is getting paint, so we'll be able to start bending tube. And now that we've got the rear bumper cut, we know that we need to go ahead and take off that crash bar and all that other stuff, like I was just saying a few minutes ago. So you know, let me know what you guys think of the side skirts, what we should do about those, if we should cut them up and have them, you know, work with the fenders all cut up. But one other thing I wanted to say, and I wanted to say it at the beginning of the video because you know, I really do appreciate it, but thank you so much for all the subscribers that have stayed subscribed through this whole thing. You know, I know it might be even 2 months now, you know, without any videos, and I never intended for those kind of gaps to happen. I do want to pick this back up and, like I said, at least have one video a week, but it is a lot of work with the editing, the filming, getting all the parts together, and I don't have a garage, so all the tools and everything taken back out and all that stuff. But anyway, I am going to get some more videos up, so we will get this project moving, but it won't be, you know, 2 or 3 videos like I wanted it to be. But thank you so much for everyone that stuck around, that wants to see the end of this project. And like I said, hopefully we'll have some other projects. We'll get this out on the track. We'll have some track days, and I want to also interview some other people that have, you know, their own race cars or track cars, or, you know, daily drivers that they track a lot, whether it's autocross or, you know, on a road course or whatever. So and I also want to thank all the new subscribers that, even after posting a video saying there's not going to really be much, there's still been a lot of subscribers, so I really do appreciate it. But that's a wrap on all this stuff right now, and hopefully we'll have another video here up in the next few days. Thanks. Take it easy.